the channel and then see if we can get this thing going. And then see if we can get this thing going. Cool. It appears to be live. So for this live stream, I'm testing the Yellow Box. What is this? The Yellow Box Extreme? I don't know what this thing is. They sent me this a while back, and I've tested it a few times, and I just haven't really loved it. But for a spur of the moment thing like this, I thought I'd just try it. And also the cool thing is that it can do 4K, where historically, like you can see this ATEM Extreme that I've used for a long time. It's been great. It's only 1080p though, and so thought I'd try this one in 4K because I've got the S5 IIs. And hey, what's up? Let's see if I can pull on comments and stuff. I've never tried this on here. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Yes, you are the first. So, as I have nothing to do at work. That's funny. Yeah, so we're going to be putting my new Mac Studio into this Sonnet 3U rack enclosure. I've never rack mounted a computer before, and in our new build, I just thought, you know, we're going with standing desks, and so why not use my little rack that's going to be there to hold my Mac Studio and all the things that are going in it. So, have you guys ever done this before? I'm open to any tips that you would have for me along the way. And so, Simon, sorry. How are you doing, Ryland? Man, I'm doing great. It's a Be Happy Monday. And so, just trying to get a bunch of stuff done. Yeah, if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to ask, because this is literally like I'm just opened this box. It came in from Sweetwater earlier today. They were the only people that had it in stock. First of all, why did I choose this guy, the Sonnet deck link enclosure thingy, over, you know, historically, I actually bought this guy first. This is the Echo Express SE3E from Sonnet. So we have one that's a lot like this already for our Decklink Duo in the venue. And so, you know, it is a card enclosure that you get Thunderbolt with. And it's worked fine. The downsides to it are this little DC barrel port right here, which I don't know, guys, if I can, you can see right there on that little top port, the DC barrel, it's not locking. And there actually have been a couple of times since this is sitting up on the desk that someone's foot has bumped the power cable and pulled it out of there. And this is like driving our graphics for our whole LED wall and everything. And so going forward, I just was like, I don't love this form factor, even after I bought this, because I was trying to save money. You know how it is. Carl says, a bit jealous that I'm not the one rack mounting a Mac Studio. Heard good things about the Sonnet stuff, though. Yeah. So, and this it has been rock solid. The other one that we have with our deck link, like, that's the only thing I don't like. And something else that's changed is that I'm using a different card. And so if I can get that card, so we'll set that back over there. I'm actually using this Decklink Quad 2. So the Decklink Quad 2, what it's going to do is give me 8 outputs. Now they are only 1080p, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be doing all of my cameras in 4K. But my content for LED wall and to confidence monitors and all that stuff, it really does not need to be 4K. And so we will be able to go, these are mini SDIs out of here, and it will all be encased in this one thing. And the reason that I also couldn't go with some of the other enclosures is that This card, since it does 8 independent channels, you have to have like an 8-lane PCIe card slot, something like that. And this is all very kind of like new to me. I don't really, I've only done the DeckLink Duo. That's all I've ever had to mess with PCIe cards. But not all of the enclosures give you the full speed. So you might install this in like my current enclosure, and I would only get the 4 lanes instead of all 8. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that is, because you can do 8 in or out, or maybe both, or some kind of simultaneous thing there with the SDI. We're just going to be going out of it. So I'm not sure if that means like you could get 4 in, 4 out, and this is 8 in, 8 out. I don't know. I just wanted to make sure it was good to go. So, yeah, let's just do this together. Have I ever been to Northern Virginia? No. I think the closest I've been there is like, which isn't very close, is like Myrtle Beach. That's as far north as I've gotten on the East Coast. Okay, so let's show you what this guy looks like. If I can do it without breaking it. Glory. Hey, look, Sweetwater card. Where's my candy, Sweetwater? I didn't see it. Okay. What are you guys working on today on this Monday? A little dusty. I've been doing some Christmas planning and had a nice Zoom call this morning. We do a thing called, with worship ministry training, called Monday Morning Huddles, where we kind of talk through any pain points or just share highs and lows. So I'm probably going to re-up with worship ministry trainings. You know, I paid for it last year, and it's really been just a good community. It's like a glorified version of the Creative Crew. If you're not a member of the Creative Crew, we have that Discord channel and some private live streams. I was going to make this a member-only live stream, guys, but that's another thing about the YOLO box is like it didn't have that option. I was just like public or private or unlisted, but no member only. Let's see. What's going on? Hey, Ride of a Lifetime, you're a member, aren't you? And see, it also doesn't show me in the chat, where in my other chat it does show me. There's also a power consideration. Some cards require extra power, like GPU. The non-eConnect enclosure or the one that has the one slot don't support 8K Pro cards. I use an enclosure you showed. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Inside of here, it's showing like there's some extra power things, and I guess certain cards, like these PCIe cards, you have to power them as well, like the Pro Tools cards and some others. But I don't think this requires any extra power. You can do 16 channels embedded audio via SDI and 8 3G SDI individually configurable as inputs or outputs. So I guess you could do any form of, 7 out, 1 in, or 6 out, 2 in, that kind of thing. So, okay, let's do what it says to do here. Step 1 is remove these thumb screws from right here. So let's see if I can do this upside down. Graceful. It's got a little washer on there, so I don't want to lose that. Carl says, I'm mixing service. We don't live stream, so it's all in post. It's a lot of work, Carl. Man, I don't want to do that. But good for you. I'm sure it's a better product. Well, I don't know that, actually. I mean, I'm pretty proud of ours. But yeah, there's always mistakes that are made that if you were doing it totally post, you're going to fix that in post, but How's the 4K quality look? Somebody Is anyone actually watching in 4K? Or are you watching on your phones? And if you are watching on something that's 4K capable, like a TV or something, how does the 4K look for this live stream? I'm streaming at, it's only like maybe 20 megabits per second or something like that. Maybe be 16. Whoops. Okay, so something fell. Okay, so this little front cover has some felt back here to push up against the computer, so that's kind of nice. And I do have to leave at 4. So we got soccer parties tonight. Let's see. All right, guys. I'll bring you around here because I can't really work on it and talk to y'all at the same time. How long is my HDMI? Not long enough. All right, we're going to go to the other side. I probably should have switched to the other camera before I did this. All right. Trying to make it where y'all can see what I'm doing here. Definitely don't have a big enough workspace for this. I need another piano desk. Okay, so my Mac Studio will sit into here, and then this is the Echo 3 from Sonnet, and it comes with this little USB hub that will plug into my Mac Studio in the back. The next step, it says to go ahead and install my Mac, and so let's get that. I actually have not even unboxed this yet, so this is always fun. All right, no going back now, fellas. Let's let's do the ASMR opening of the Mac Studio. Did you enjoy that? Oh gosh. All right. So I'm always a little confused on like how these actually open, because they've made it too easy. Okay. They should say like top. I changed it to 4K, looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Okay. Don't drop it. It's a thick boy. Is there anything else in there? I think that's it. Just a card. Nothing in that little. Okay. Spill the deets on the studio. Yeah. It's the. Honestly, I don't remember all of it. I would have. So it's an M4 Max, not an M5, because the M4 Max is actually faster. And, you know, we've been running a Mac Studio for our main display for a couple of years now, and it's been really solid. But going into the new space, I was like, we really should, let's start fresh with a new computer. So this guy is, I'll have to look at the details actually. Okay, so there we go. So the nice thing about this rack enclosure is that it has on that front ports, like these right here, will still be able to be used. And then this button right there is actually physically pushing the power button on the Mac Studio. And so instructions say, remove your Mac Studio from its packaging and then carefully insert it into the rack mount enclosure as shown. Push the computer in until it stops. Okay, that sounds easy enough. All right, it's pretty tight. Okay, it has stopped. Do you have a Pro 7 theme pack? I want to change and clean up my themes. No, I don't. Can you export themes? Is that I don't know that you can export themes. I don't know that that's an ability right now. Not in an easy way. I mean, you could go into your ProPresenter folder and maybe add that theme in there. But I guess it works. No, you can download them from Pro Content and it comes in as a theme. So maybe I should. Maybe I should look into that. Hi from New Zealand. Sweet. Thanks for hopping on, man. Yeah, so step one is done. It's not too hard. You just put the MacBook or the Mac Studio into the hole. Let's move on to step two. Let's see. Connect the USB hub cable to the back of the Mac. Okay. Turn it around here. Goodness gracious, that guy's heavy. So it's just this guy. Pretty easy. Bloop, right there. It does have this little spot right here that you can put some hard drives underneath right here. And since we've been running our ProPresenter install off of a NVMe drive that's in a Zyke drive, I believe, then that'll be handy because I can just stick it right in there. And they even, I believe they have like a magnetic mount or something you can put them on. So, okay, next step, and the more important and harder steps, is going to be the PCIe slot. Love your budget-friendly lighting. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, use those affiliate links, baby. We got Black Friday coming up. Do you plan to use the 8 outputs of the DeckLink Quad? Yeah, so with the DeckLink Quad, I plan to probably have, let's see, one for main LED wall, 2 for secondary LED wall, so like some towers and stuff. And then we'll have fill, key, and main output going to, well, I may not have to, at least 3 for like lower third stuff, key, fill, and then a full screen fallback. And then announcement layer, and then 2 stage displays. So we'll have two 98-inch TVs that I can have independent content to on the back wall. I may run my announcement layer off of separate Mac Mini in the rack room. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure this could handle it, but as of now, that's my outputs. But then I also utilize some stage displays in a weird way, like for our lighting um, times, for our lighting position. Historically, I've used one of the USB-C to HDMIs out of the Mac Studio, but I guess I could do that out of here and then go into our router. We have an 80 by 80 router that's being installed, so it's another reason for going all SDI with this. Just ProPresenter to start off with. We may move to Resolume for the more flexibility, but I don't want to change too many things all at once. We're already changing lighting to Onyx, and then all of this, and doing some different things with our teaching TV, and it's just going to be like, I need it to be working and simple enough at first where I'm not just driving myself insane. So if y'all use Resolume and you can assure me that it's like, hey, this is actually no big deal, please let me know. You can export themes. It's in the stage displays. You can't export, but the workaround is putting them under themes. Okay. I mean, because historically when I've made stuff for ProPresenter, I've had to create it in a presentation and just have those as slides. And then people can right click on that slide and say, create theme from slide. But, oh, you can't export props. That's another one, right? Like, I wish you could export props. If you're just joining us, let me know where you're hopping in from, what you're working on today. This is the 3U rack. I just got the Mac Studio M4X, whatever, Max in here. And now I'm moving on to my next step of opening up this enclosure. Okay. Take these screws off the back. Take these screws off the back and then push it through. That's what it's showing me to do here. So let's do that. What's the benefit of Mac Studio over Mac Mini? I mean, honestly, the new Mac Minis are great. I'm just kind of the opinion, like, if I'm able to, I want to soup up my main machine as much as possible, well, within reason, because I don't do the hard drive. But you can do, historically it would have been because I could do a lot more outputs out of a Mac Studio using all the different ports rather than a Mac Mini, and they didn't support as many outputs. But now, I mean, I feel like if I'm doing this whole thing with an enclosure, like, I feel like the outputs that are native from the USB-C to HDMI, the Thunderbolt ports, sorry, are a little less important. But I think another part of it is, like, the Mac Studio has just been rock solid for us the last couple of years, and so I'm going to keep rocking with it here. Goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, if you haven't already, you should set up a corporate account with B&H Photo and have them quote things for projects. Yeah, somebody told me that. It may have been you, Will, and I did do that, and I've saved a little bit of money on some stuff. They do give you a little bit better pricing, and the tax exempt is already applied in there, which I already had the tax exempt, but it was a really easy process. I've been a little disappointed as, like, sometimes I've built out some quotes for our camera system, which I need to get purchased this week once I finalize that. But they haven't given me any discounts. I'm like, oh, you're buying 5 of that same camera? Doesn't matter. It's all full price. So, but yeah, that has been helpful. What are you using as a switcher for your cameras? So right now, if that's what you're asking, this is a YOLO Box Extreme, I think. It has 8 inputs and it can do 4K. But in the worship center, we're doing an ATEM 2ME 4K switcher and then an 80 by 80 Blackmagic router for video routing around the building. Okay, let's go on to the next step here. Push the echo through the front of the enclosure. Okay. So, oh, it just hooks up with Thunderbolt. For a minute I was like, how does this hook up? It's just, yeah, I'll need a Thunderbolt cable that I think it comes with. Okay, so here's the PCIe slots. What did you end up going with for your camera system? I can't reveal that yet. No, man, that's a whole video. Okay, here's a good question. Why are you going away from Vista? And what did you land? And why did you land on Onyx? Onyx for the money. You can get a 16 Universe NX1, motorized faders, a lot of features. We went away from Vista because they're not making consoles and hardware, and everybody I talk to that's in the industry, everybody who knows more than me, all these lighting guys were saying, you know, Vista is really dying off. Now I'm in the forums and I know Jack, the guy who's kind of in charge of it through ChromaQ, is very involved, and it seems like R5 that came out seems like a really solid release. And I'm dreading learning Onyx. Like I'm good at Vista. I know the timeline. I know how to get things how I want them to behave. And Onyx and MA and all of these like command line lighting programs, it scares me. So I'm just gonna have to dive in and like learn it. I'm sure it's like anything else. They all do kind of the same thing. It's just learning how to get it to do what you want. I got a little clamp on the Thunderbolt cable. Yeah, they did send a clamp on Thunderbolt cable. Grab that. Because that's pretty important. I think this is it, or is that power? That's power. I know it said they were, oh, okay, there's another box in here. Let's see what all's in here. Are you guys knife guys? Or if you're not, you should be like me. Key knife is where it's at, man. I use this thing every day. Just don't forget about it when you're getting on an airplane, because they will, if they're observant, they will, you know, take it and make you throw it away. So I did lose one key knife. But, yeah, I just love it. You tuck it away. There we go. I think that the Thunderbolt cable would be in here. So again, I bought this through Sweetwater. B&H was out of stock on this. So, but they were kind enough to let me return that other enclosure, even though I had already thrown away the packaging. I just use a random key to open boxes. Yeah, that's what I used to do, but the key knife is better. What's in here? Oh, the rack ears and the Thunderbolt locking pin thing and the 240 watt, 120 gigabits per second. Okay, if it's GBPS, like lower, is it gigabytes or gigabits? I never know, you know, like, I don't know what the focus distance on this thing is, on this 35 mil. probably can't do it, can you? Because you're a Mikey. Yeah, about right there. That's in 4K, boys. So tell me, what's that mean? Is it gigabits or gigabytes? Because I always get roasted in the comments about saying the wrong thing. So let's just sit those rack ears there. And then we got one other thing here. Well, we're going to need that key knife again, aren't we? Gigabits. Lowercase is bits. That's what I thought. Oh, these are actually the rack ears. I don't know what that other thing was. I'm rolling across the egg. Oh my gosh. Nothing like doing this live, boys. And girls. We got any ladies in the chat? I doubt it. My channel's like 99% male watchers. So, over the last 2 years, I've been learning Onyx's. It was the lighting system that our church had when I got hired. Starting to enjoy it more and more. Will you reveal the audio consoles you will be using in the new worship center? Sure. Rack slides for the backside. Okay. Audio, we're going with the Behringer Wing and the Wing Compact with a wave setup for broadcast audio. So whenever I had the gift given for us to do some extra stuff with AVL, it was tempting at that point to be like, well, should we switch everything? But we've got Behringer in the kids wing with a X32 compact. We've got Behringer in the students. And then we also have like P16s, and it just made sense to stay in the ecosystem. So okay, that's interesting. If I don't know how to. Okay. All right. 350. So let's see what I can do here in the next 10 minutes because we have soccer. All right, so it's saying that I need to remove these little guys so that way I can slide my PCIe card in there. And then it says on here, there was somewhere I was reading about like making sure you install it. Okay, yeah. If you're installing an 8-lane PCIe card, install it into slot 3 may reduce performance. We recommend you install it into slot 1 or 2 for best performance. So it's not labeled that I see. But we'll find out. I think, yeah, so I need to read more directions. Which one is 1 and 2? This really isn't rocket science. You essentially open up the PCIe card, you stick it in there, it just pops in, you put it back right over here, and away you go. But which one is, oh, okay, there's on the directions right there. So on the directions, it does show, man, that 35 mil does not have the best focus distance there, does it? Yeah, so the bottom one is slot 1. It's an 8. Slot 2 is an 8. And the top slot right here is the slower one. It only does 4. So I'll need to put it in this bottom one here. So that means I'll need to take off this. And do I even have a Phillips screwdriver nearby? I don't. All right. Okay, well, this was fun. It's going to be, I think, a good setup once we get all this, lined up and ready to go. And then in the rack, that will also house some other stuff there at front of house. So I just thought I really wanted to just try this YOLO Box Extreme. I think, or Ultra, I don't know what it is. Is it Extreme? I think it's Extreme because it's got the 8. And do it in 4K and just kind of take you guys along for the ride. So, you know, this channel is all about like just documenting my journey. And today, this was kind of something I was going to try. So thought I'd bring you along. Ask ChatGPT. Yeah, that's great. Any slot should work. No, not for the 8. Not for the Decklink Quad 2. You have to have 8, not 4. So that's one thing you want to be careful of there. So, John, hey, I'm front of house guy at my church. I really enjoy watching your vids. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah, and what are you using to switch the stream on? That's what this is, this little YOLO box. So, like, if we and then I'll go in. I don't have a zoom lens on here, but I can switch it to APS-C mode, I think. Get you a little closer there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This thing is, the touchscreen in theory is like nice, but I need to be careful not to like get static all over stuff. You know, like you can switch camera angles by touching. They also have a thing called a YOLO deck, which is like a stream deck, copycat. I mean, I would never want to switch like this. You can also like make the screen bigger to display, you know, your inputs and stuff, but then you can't see the chat as well. Like I think if I click chat, it can overlay like that, but then at that point you might as well just have it on this display. And you can do overlays and lower thirds, like what does this do? Yeah, you can bring them on and off like that. You can have countdowns. You can stream to multiple destinations. So, how many audio inputs are you planning on having in the new space? Well, that was another thing about the Wing that's nice is, you know, you can take up one channel with a stereo channel. So, it's really a snake channel count at that point. We don't necessarily need any more channels at this point. Even on the X32, we're like pretty close on it. We had an M32 for a long time that we were pretty close on. I think once you have more channels, you just start finding things that you want to split out. It's like, well, let's do 8 channels of multi-track audio. Like, we just don't do that because my audio guys don't need that. They don't need to think about the tracks. I need to premix those. So, but it will be nice that a lot of those stereo channels that we do have, because we'll be stereo in the new worship center, we'll just take up that one fader now. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we probably won't use more than 40 channels, I bet. So, looking at one for a mobile rig. Yeah, I mean, so this would be good for a mobile rig. That is the thing. The only reason I've kind of thought about reviewing it, I mean, they sent me this to review. I have to send it back, even though I've tried to I told them I had it all packed up and mailed, and they're like, just keep it for a while and keep testing it. Okay, whatever. It would be good for mobile because it's battery. Like, right now it's powered on, but it's battery. It can do SIM card, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and you can pay their service for bonding. And it has 8 inputs that are HDMI. I just don't like the form factor. Like, all the cables kind of just hang out here, so if you want to see it and you tilt it up on like it has a tripod screw here, then it's just, I don't know, it's finicky. Like, I wish the layout was different maybe or something. You can record to an SD card. So yeah, you do have to pay for the bonded connection though through them. It's not like it automatically like just bonds the signals together. So that is an extra fee. But yeah, and you can do like picture in picture and multiple audio inputs. And right now I'm I'm wearing a DJI mic that is going to my little receiver right here. That way, you know, whenever I move around and stuff, you can still hear me. So, yeah, that's, I'm going to wrap this little job up in the morning. We'll come back and finish this before staff meeting tomorrow. So we'll just lock it up and leave it. But yeah, Mac Studio, Sonnet with the DeckLink quad will go in port 3 there, and then we'll get everything kind of fired up and I'll report back. But if you guys aren't a member of the creative crew and you're into this kind of stuff, you know, maybe think about doing that. We've got a cool Discord channel that you can always hop in, and I know a couple of the members are here in the chat right now. So it's like $5 a month. It's really just like supporting the channel. So, and if you're not following me on Insta, I've started posting some more shorts and stuff of just like everyday things there. But I may, as we do this big giant remodel, that may be something that becomes like a members only content. What I don't want to do is segment my channel on YouTube with shorts content, subscribers, and then long form, because it just isn't healthy. But if I did like a creative crew only shorts feed, basically, where every day I'm just kind of throwing out a short of what I've been learning that day, I'm thinking about that. I don't know, guys. I just like getting to hang out and share what I'm doing, and maybe it can help one of you guys. And then whenever I hear from one of you that it has been helpful because you didn't make the same mistake I made or something like that, then that's what keeps me going. So yeah, what entry-level cameras do you recommend a church first buy for live stream? I'm a big Panasonic fanboy, so I think a GH5 a used GH5 is the way to go. Full-size HDMI, never going to overheat, great picture quality. So we still use them every week in our live stream. Okay, well, I got to go to soccer practice. Well, soccer party with my kids. So we're going to pack this back up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.